It was very dark outside. The moon gave just enough light to see a few feet in front of you. It was raining. The woods were empty, except for Stephanie. There were faint animal noises and the crunching of branches and leaves. Stephanie wondered, "Where am I? What happened to Julie and Rachel?"
Julie? Rachel? Screamed Stephanie.
Stephanie kept walking, following where she thought the sounds of footsteps were coming from. She finally realized that she kept walking in circles, so she decided to stop walking. Right as she stopped, she heard a faint noise, a girl's voice. She started walking closer to the voice. It slowly got louder and louder. Eventually, she started running. When she felt like the voice was right next to her, she stopped and started looking around.
Julie? Rachel? Where are you guys? This isn't funny. I'm freaking out.
Steph said worryingly. "You should be," said some creepy guy. Right after the creepy voice, something hit Stephanie in the back of the head and knocked her out. It was Halloween morning. Julie, Rachel, and Stephanie were putting on the final touches of their costume for the party that night.
This is going to be the best party ever, said Julie excitingly.
"It's our senior year party. It better be," Rachel said demandingly.
I have a feeling it'll be one we'll never forget, Steph said.
The party was at the senior quarterback's lake house. It was going to be the biggest party of the year because all the cool seniors would be there. People started leaving around 1:30, but the majority of the people were still there.
Hey Rachel, where's the bathroom? Asked Julie.
"It's right outside the house past the pool near the lake," said Rachel. Julie wondered why they wouldn't just have a bathroom in the house. It's too creepy to go outside by yourself. After Julie went to the bathroom, she decided to walk down to the lake and see what it looked like. She walked to the lake and decided to sit out there for a while. But when it began to rain, she decided to walk back towards the house. When she was almost back to the bathroom, she heard a noise, but just ignored it and kept walking. When she heard it again, she stopped to see what it was. She walked to the edge of the woods and looked around. She didn't see anything, so she turned to walk back towards the house. But as she did, a man jumped out and injected her with something to knock her out and dragged her out of the woods. An hour or so later, Rachel realized that she hadn't seen Julie ever since she went to the bathroom. She grabbed a flashlight and went looking for her. She checked the bathroom, but it was empty. She walked down the lake and looked around the edge of the woods and saw nothing. She heard something walking a little farther into the woods. She got to where it was surrounded by the woods, and suddenly the flashlight died. She hit the flashlight and turned the flashlight on and off again. She waited and hit it again. There was a guy out in front of her. Then suddenly, as he appeared, he hit her in the face with a shovel and knocked her out, and dragged her deep into the woods. Later that night, Stephanie was ready to go home, so she looked around for Julie and Rachel, but couldn't find them. She thought that they might have already gone to the car, so she went there to look for them. When she got there, all she found was a note that said, "Dear Stephanie, Julie didn't feel well, so we got a ride home. See you at home." So Stephanie got into her car and drove home. When Stephanie got home, she went into the shower. While she was in the shower, she heard the door close.
Julie, is that you? Asked Stephanie.
Stephanie got out of the shower and saw something on the floor. She went to look what it was. When she looked back up into the mirror, there was a guy behind her with a needle. He injected her and put her in the trunk of his car. When Stephanie came back to consciousness, she had no clue where she was. It was very dark outside. The moon gave just enough light to see a few feet in front of you. It was raining. The woods were empty, except for Stephanie. There were faint animal noises and the crunching of branches and leaves. Stephanie wondered, "Where am I? What happened to Julie and Rachel?"
Julie? Rachel? Anybody? Screamed Stephanie.
Stephanie kept walking, following where she thought the sounds of footsteps were coming from. She finally realized she kept walking in circles, so she decided to stop walking. Right as she stopped, she heard a faint voice, a girl's voice. She started walking closer to the voice. It slowly got louder and louder. Eventually, she started running for the voice, but when she felt like the voice was right next to her, she stopped and started looking around.
Julie, Rachel, where are you guys? This isn't funny. I'm freaking out, Steph said worryingly.
"You should be," said some creepy guy. Right after the creepy voice said something hit Stephanie in the back of the head and knocked her out again. When she woke up, Julie and Rachel were all together in one room. When the same voice said, "You have only one choice to make. Only two of you can leave alive. And if you don't choose who lives in an hour, all three of you die," said the kidnapper. After the voice stopped a few seconds later, 3 baseball bats were thrown into the room.
Let's vote, because at least 2 of us should live, said Stephanie.
"Let's all separate and think about what we want to do," offered Rachel.
Stephanie and Julie both said okay, agreeing.
Julie whispered, "Psst, Rachel, come here.
Yeah?
Stephanie's not going to let us make our own decisions, so I say we sneak up behind her and finish all this."
Okay, I suppose you're right. Let's do it, agreed Rachel.
Julie and Rachel snuck up behind Stephanie, and she turned around, but it was too late to defend her. The kidnapper appeared in the room and said, "Very nice. Would you all like to go home now?" Julie and Rachel got to go back to their lives just as they were before, but with a constant guilty consciousness.